so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for the round of Comic Chat. We've got a villain spectacular here. Like, I actually had other books planned, then the stars aligned, and I had more Disney villains. And I love Disney villains. Because we did the whole School of Disney Villains thing, Disney Princess thing, and should I do Disney Heroes next? That's such a vague. There was a failed line. There was a failed initiative that came out, a good while ago. But that might be a project coming up. We got so many other projects to do. But anyway, our first book is Maleficent issue 4. So, if you recall, I've had very few good things to say about this book. It's not badly written, to be sure. Everyone's in character, but nothing happens. Like, legit feels like nothing happens this entire book. But now, finally, the story's kicking up. So, our story begins with Maleficent going like, you know what? It's been awfully quiet and kind of dull around here. Has it not? Diablo, go see what the news is. Alright, so Diablo goes out there. He sees a party. Well, so it looks to be a small army. He goes in like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? One of them sees Diablo like, hey, you. I see you, demon bird. Take me to your master. So Diablo's like, alright, bet. And he goes off to the end of the forest, met by, Maleficent's army of gremlins, I guess. Like, sometimes they're pigs, birds. Are they Tengu? No. Tengus are usually birds. What are they? I like gremlins. They're gremlins. So anyway, he comes in, calls out like, hey, where's your mistress? Is she a coward to send the goons to face us in her stead? And Maleficent's like, I'm sorry, what? No, coward. No. Alright, so I'm here. Now what? And so he's like, hey, look, by the orders of the royal court and the king, I'm here to seize you and to be tried for your crimes against Prince Reynard. I'm like, those were crimes. I'm not doubting that, but I don't know who Prince Reynard is. Like, I know he was the guy in the first comic, in the first issue, or the second one. He's either, I forget which one, but either way, it's more like the second one. So I get it. She's done some stuff. But, who is Prince... Like, we don't know when this takes place, so it'd be interesting if Prince Reynard was King Stephen's brother. And that'd be cool. Oh, that'd be so messed up. But anyway, so I have permission to, take you into the custody, alive or dead, whichever one works. So he goes in the charge. I'm like, so do you have a plan for Maleficent? Do you have a plan for the magic? It turns out he does not. And so, like, his men are like, you know what? We cannot win this. And I'm like, you had no plan. You thought you'd go in with, I guess you thought numbers would win the day? And that's not a bad argument, per se. If the idea is that if you're to charge Maleficent and get her watched in the middle of spellcasting, that isn't a bad strategy. But I don't think you have the numbers or the, and I hate to say it, skill to sort of go with that sort of maneuver. But anyway, also you haven't surrounded her? Like, you don't have, again, like, it's not there. It's not there. Anyway, so, it goes about as well as you think. He's like, you guys never do learn. You think you can defeat me? Very foolish. Very foolish indeed. I'm like, yeah. You had no plan other than to say, hey, say she's under arrest, she's under arrest. There we go. It's like the UK police. Anyway. But then he says, you think you're the only one with magic? They will send others. And I'm like, you have a magic user. That's what I'm guessing you're saying. Why didn't you bring them? And she's like, oh, okay. So, okay, that's fine. I'll be right here. And she leaves them to be taken over by the brambles. Or into a tree. Got the whole Hexus treatment from Fern Gully. Alright, okay, cool. So ultimately, this issue had about as much tension as the first issue, i.e., we can't really oppose Maleficent, which We all kind of knew. It's Maleficent. Mistress of all evil! So, yeah. And this plan was stupid. So if we go say she's under arrest, she'll surrender quietly, or we'll just overwhelm her with, there's, what, 6 of us? Yeah, because Maleficent, she was able to, use spell casting on one guy. But 6 guys? Yeah. Stupid. But it's nice to see this entire story is sort of progressing to some extent. I think it would be interesting if it turns out Prince Reynard and that other chump from the first issue were King Stephen's brothers. And that would explain why King Stephen is like, look, I'm not messing with Maleficent, but I don't want her in this building, alright? Like, I don't want her anywhere near my family. I'm not going to go near her family, and we just go from there, alright? And you know what? That is a fair assessment. But, who knows? We'll see. I'm actually excited now for the rest of this story. New one, Hades. Lord of the Dead, how you doing? So, Hades is one of the great Disney villains. I think it's one of James Woods' best performances. As a matter of fact, he loves Hades so much. Like, he'll always be offered to play Hades, no matter what project it is for Disney. Like, I think he has been Hades in every Kingdom Hearts game. And Hades is in every important Kingdom Hearts game. From a gameplay standpoint. From a lore standpoint, they're all horribly important. Anyway. Except maybe Kingdom Hearts 1. At least for Keyblade lore, anyway. So anyway. So our story starts off with Hades. So, like, you know what? I've had it. All the gods of Mount Olympus. Like, you know who I am? I am the first son of Kronos. I'm Lord of the Dead. I'm the eldest brother. Okay? Well, what's going on? Alright? The Unseen One. Firstborn of Kronos, Lord of the Underworld, King of the Dead. And I decree that the gods of Olympus shall pay. What is that crime? They didn't invite me to their party. Alright? They didn't invite me to their weekly god brunch. Even Clandestia, goddess of the sewer, is there. Alright? And she's bringing a plague rat. And she's still allowed there. And it was like, well, Hades, maybe if you weren't evil. I'm like, you know what? Not what I want to hear. I'm like, okay, I like this. He's like, you know what? Fine. I'm doubling down on this evil thing. All right, those Olympian gods where they're living on the mountain instead of the dark cave with all the sunshine and fresh air and people not running in fear from them. I'm like, is Hades just really upset that he has the worst job? That's kind of like always been the thing with Disney Hades. Like, he hates that he's stuck here in the underworld. Everyone else gets to be up there with his life and joy, and everyone for the most part loves the rest of the Greek gods. Hey, it's Apollo brings us the sun. Yeah, I know, but just go from a Disney perspective here. All right, Demeter brings us the harvest and whatnot, and Persephone and Athena, and even Ares sometimes. Hades, dead, which is sort of more of like how the movie interprets how Hades operates. Because as we've sort of westernized, or sort of, I would say, Christianized Hades in some ways, the underworld's sort of synonymous with hell. So we view him as the bad guy, like Hades is the devil. Like, everyone dies. Hades' job is to look after the dead. But anyway. The question is, for Pain and Pan, it's like, so how are you going to exact your revenge and destroy them once for all? Hades like, I'll think of something. I'm like, you know what, this doesn't quite seem like Hades in terms of, the James Wood persona, but he's like, you know what, I know 3 creepy old ladies who know everything in the universe, so he calls the Fates, and they say, dude, use the Golden Fleece. I'm like, oh, a fleece! There we go. I like it. So, Hades goes off, sends Pain and Panic. They're like, you know what? Why they can't seem to do it, and it's like, oh yeah, the dragon. You guys can't take care of that dragon. So I need a team. I need a team of competent losers as opposed to my regular incompetent losers. He has no idea how bad they're going to screw up. This is definitely a prequel. So first he tries for Medusa. Now, Medusa is sort of the interpretation of how Medusa got cursed is always up in the air. Some stories she's always existed. She's always been a Gorgon. Other stories she either has a consensual, non-consensual relationship with Poseidon in a temple of Athena, and Athena doesn't like that, so she punishes Medusa Yeah, I actually prefer the, I think the assault one, and then being punched by Athena works better because it works to how I interpret the Greek pantheon, which is they're all kind of terrible people, and it is sort of a metaphor for people in power. Like Poseidon assaults a woman, and as society would do, as society sometimes do, they blame the victim. Just sort of works. Powerful people will do everything but hold themselves to account. All right. And when they can't punish the person they want to punish. They punish other people. So yeah. Or you can go with the affair and boom. Either way, it's up to you in terms of what happened. Either way, Medusa's power set's still the same. I look to people, they turn to stone. So Hades tries to get her, not working out. Medusa's not feeling this, but when she hears it, be like, look, hey, when I'm offering like fix you, but you know what? If you're not gonna help, I'm out. And when I win it all, you'll still be here with your roommate being a lawn ornament. Also, it's a pretty cute drawing of Medusa here, so that's nice. Next, he goes to see Arachne. So, Arachne, and this version at least, was told by her mother to accept a challenge, a lousy weaving contest from Athena. Alright, because it'll make her name, and she'll be able to defeat a goddess. So, okay, apparently in this version, Arachne won, and Athena, not liking that, turned her into a spider. So, my question is, again, I'm all for a degree of Athena slander, because you tend to always hear Athena being the good one. Like, Athena never does anything wrong, and, well, I'm not a Greek mythology expert, I'm not, so, again, grain of salt, overly sarcastic productions, a couple of other people on the internet, I hear some good stories, but, yeah, I'm kind of weirded out by everyone having nothing but positive things to say about Athena, which means she might be the worst one. But then again, when you've got Zeus there, everyone looks like the good one. But anyway, so Hades shows up like, hey, Arachne, how you doing? So I need someone. I need someone who can help, and I could fix that spider with a human head issue, which might mean that Hades is going to turn into a full spider. But either way, Arachne's like, you know what? I'm in, despite her mother's protest. But then again, it's her mother's fault she's in this predicament in the first place. So yeah. Then he goes to Orpheus. Now, I am not 100% versed in the story of Orpheus. I wasn't even sure that was Orpheus. But anyway, Orpheus is now being all depressed and moody and getting all the girls by playing sad songs, because that is how you win the ladies. It was often called a douchebag with acoustic guitar. But anyway, he is singing about Eurydice. I hope I said that right. His love, who died, and Orpheus are like, hey, went down to the underworld, did some tricks, and he's like, I'll tell you what, okay, if you can just walk out that door without looking at her, you both can go free. Or you both can go. Alright, if not, then only you can go. So Orpheus goes up, and he turns around. So the one thing Hades told him not to do. Now, some interpretation says he didn't trust Hades, and so he looked back anyway, but if you're almost there, the only person who can ruin this is you. But anyway. So, Hades shows up, offers him another opportunity, like, hey, you know what? I give you a chance. Help me out here. Play in front of a large crowd, which you want to. And, you go from there. And I think Orpheus is sort of falling to that same sort of trope as other Greek gods. In fact, they're sort of girl crazy, like they're always falling in love. Zeus, Apollo. Well, Zeus is just horny. Apollo falls in love like every 5 minutes. So this all seems kind of, in line. And he also gets Icarus. Now, this is not Icarus from Hercules, the animated series, so we really are going off on a tangent here. We definitely have split the timelines a bit here. He does, however, mention Daedalus and King Minos, so it's all there. And Hades is offering, like, hey, you help me get the Golden Fleece, and I'll give you real wings. Alright, things have turned him into a bird. Anyway, so what's going on here? So later we cut to Jason, and Jason is a fusion of Hercules and Gaston. No. Hercules, Kronk, and Gaston. So far, he might be less Gaston than we think. Hopefully he's less Gaston. But he's a bit of an idiot, a bit of a show-off, a bit of a braggart. And Chiron seems a bit incompetent. So, we go from here. And his dad, apparently he takes everything as a challenge. He even is willing to challenge his dad over something his dad didn't even really say. Like, I have a job, I have a challenge, or I need you to go to go to Colchis and find the Golden Fleece. He's like, yeah, I'll take that. So he's taking Chiron, some other guys, and they're going aboard the Argo, and they're going to go find the Golden Fleece, not knowing Hades is going after it too, and that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, Hades issue 1, I think, is a great story. I really do. I'm not quite buying the Hades vibe. Like, I don't think it feels like James Woods' Hades, but maybe I'm just so used to hearing James Woods' Hades that if I don't hear it, it doesn't quite feel right. Same thing with, like, Doctor Who books. Like, I've tried to read Doctor Who, and I've read some, but it's not the same as hearing them. Thank you, Big Finish. You've actually stopped me from reading. It takes a lot to stop me from reading. Like, I've read Star Wars novels, and that is not Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. That is not. So, yeah, that is that. I like this idea of this proto Argonauts. Like, at the same time, there's another race. The race is on for the Golden Fleece, and Hades has no idea what he may have started. And almost, I just want to read Percy Jackson again. Almost. I might watch Hercules. I might. I was feeling Alice in Wonderland earlier this week. Maybe Robin Hood. Maybe I'll just go Hercules. What do you guys think? I'll leave that down in the comment section. Put the question, like, what should I watch? And I'll let you guys decide, which means we're going to put it on hold. But anyway, overall, I'm excited for this. Hope I see more Hades in this story, because as cool as this team of competent losers is, because technically that's what they all are, losers. Arachne may have won the contest but got turned into a spider. Orpheus lost his one job. Icarus did fly too close to the sun, and he probably has got some brain damage. And Medusa, well, depending on your story, messed up. So yeah. Then finally, and so anyway, we have The Lion King, Part 4, the final part of this story. And honestly, if you told me The Lion King would be the one that I would be rooting for the most between this and Maleficent, I would probably say no. But no. Scar's earned this, and I think it's because Scar has a goal in this story. But anyway. So our story starts off with what appears to be what's a dream, and it is the Meerkats going towards King Scar, saying, "Hey, we have a problem here. You know, we've always lived in the Pride Lands peacefully, didn't cause any trouble. We felt safe here, but the hyenas have been attacking with no consequence. In other words, we don't serve any real nutritional value. Like, what? No lion's gonna get a fill off of us. All right. We don't cause any problems, and yet these hyenas have been attacking us." Totally unprovoked, totally without consequence, and we'd like you to do something about this. Scar does not care about the pathetic creature's problems, alright? He, in his mind, a king should just be a king, and he doesn't have any idea what that means or entails, that divine right to rule. And the meerkat points out that, hey, you created this problem when you let the hyenas in, alright? And Mufasa kept it safe, and you don't mention Mufasa, that's how you trigger him, and he goes for the swing, and Rafiki does the old spell, and it turns out this dream was apparently a test by Rafiki, and he's like, hey, you knew what this was because I taught you as well as I taught Mufasa. So apparently Rafiki does have magic, and he's taught Scar and Mufasa how to see it. So I wonder if at some point there was some sort of magical threat to the Pride Lands, and Rafiki is sort of like as the shaman helping, or something along those lines. But he's telling Scar that he has to focus and really consider his future, alright? And anyway, he wakes up from, I guess, what was a dream, and, yeah. And he says, okay, so it's time. And so their plan is to use Zazu. So Zazu has the bird's eye, he's Mufasa's major domo, his right hand, effectively. And he and the other birds do a patrol. Alright, they go through, and one alert is reports say, coming in, that the Okari are restless. And it's like weird because there aren't any hunting parties out there. And they offer to check, but Zazu's no, I'll go myself. And for this plan to work, this must be Zazu's sort of issue. Like, Zazu trusts them to go out, but whenever there's an issue, he prefers to see it himself. So, okay. I think that speaks to Zazu's character, especially in terms of how seriously he takes his job. So he goes through, so he's like, oh, okay, everything seems fine. But then he's attacked by Ed and Bonsai. Alright? He's like, hey, you're trespassing, I demand you leave at once. And it turns out Ed and Banzai are really just here to scare Zazu. Alright, they're here just to, keep him occupied, let him know, hey, there are hyenas down here. And they go off, and Zazu meets the other person, hey, yeah, I don't care about the wildebeest right now. Alright, sound the alarm, and I must alert Mufasa. He sees Mufasa and Simba, and we go, sire, hyenas in the Pride Land. So this is an alternate take of what we saw in the actual movie. If you recall, in the actual movie, Mufasa and Simba are having a pouncing lesson, alright? While Zazu comes in just to give, like, the morning report, which you can hear more in the uncut version of Lion King. Well, not the uncut version, they added a song to it. So, later it turns out these wildebeests have all been herded, so in other words, it was all a distraction. Get Zazu panicking, on high alert, tell him hyenas in the Pride Lands, they all go down there. Meanwhile, Scar and the other hyenas herd all these wildebeests to the elephant graveyard. And yeah, so it's great. It's great. And Scar uses this as an opportunity to, pull a Game of Thrones on Queen Zuri. Like, hey, Shanks and I were talking, like, I think it's my best you step down from the throne. And it's sort of hilarious. The question is, what exactly we're doing here? Like, there are a few stragglers that support Zuri. That won't be a problem. And then Scar's surprised that Ed and Banzai are alive. Like, huh? Weird. Okay, whatever. Then we see Zuri. Zuri's bleeding. I'm like, okay, this is pretty intense here. And he's like, okay, well, I still have my followers, Scar. This won't work. Like, actually, I've made other deals. And the vultures are coming. And he's like, those vultures? What are they? Like, actually, no, they're also amazing thespians. Because guess what? They're coming down. So the vultures, along with the hyenas loyal to Scar, are going to chase out or just flat out kill Zuri and her supporters. So yeah, the coup has happened, and the comic ends with Scar saying, I swear by the stars, Pride Rock will be mine. And that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, Scar issue 4 is, along with the rest of this book, has been fun. It's been fun. It's hard to say. I felt like there was some mistakes, but I think I just misread those. Like, someone said Scar was the older brother. I think I may have just misread that somewhere. But it's interesting because Scar seems totally set that he has the divine right to rule. The throne is his. And like it's on Lion King, I was first in line before the hairball was born. And I like how Mufasa isn't here but he is here. Like, he lives rent-free in Scar's head. And Mufasa hasn't done anything. We could have gone the full Disney deconstruction that, this is all Mufasa's fault, that he did take the throne. The throne was Mufasa's by right. Alright, he's first in line. Scar just thinks he should be king because he's better. He thinks he's better. He's probably more pragmatic in some ways, but as we saw in this story, he sees that the problems of lesser creatures are not his concern as king. And sort of the question is, like, what is one boy in comparison to an entire kingdom? And he's everything. That is something Scar hasn't quite accepted, or even, I think, even chooses to believe. But I think the interesting part is just his climb, what leads to it. The vultures, getting him like, hey, you should sign up with the hyenas, because in their mind, hey, either he dies, we eat him, or he causes some chaos, and we eat more than just him. See, it works out. Either way, the vultures come on top. The vultures have proven to be the Littlefinger of this series. Season 1 through 5, Littlefinger. Actually, hang on. Season 1 through 3, Littlefinger's best Littlefinger. Everything else, he just gets lucky. But anyway, this is possibly the best Disney villain so far. Like, Maleficent might have some competition, depending on how those last couple issues go. But overall, I think this was fun. It's a great Disney villain story. A little weird at the end in terms of how the continuity works, because, again, how Zazu tells Mufasa is different. Like, he gets an alert from a gopher, so that was weird, but whatever. Anyway, with that, Mountain brings me to closure. If you are new to the Bug Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some of my videos, smash the thumbs up button. I'll catch you all later. This is Bug Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.